because he was armed with as many as 9 50 caliber machine guns, and each plane was fitted out with the revolutionary Norden bomb sight. Said to be so accurate, it made it possible to drop a bomb in a pickle barrel from 20,000 feet. Round-the-clock bombing took a fearful toll. In late July, British bombs set off a whirling firestorm that burned or asphyxiated at least 40,000 German civilians in and around Hamburg, taking almost as many lives in 1 week as the German Luftwaffe had taken in 8 months of bombing Britain. But the German will to resist only intensified, just as the will of others had intensified. Hamburg's factories were soon back in business. Meanwhile, American airmen were suffering terrible losses. Earl Burke's friends from Sacramento, the Egger twins, would both be shot down in the coming months.
The number of missions we had to fly before we were returned to the States and or given a non-combat job was 25 at that point. The average number of missions flown in 1943 for a combat person was only 14. If you got to 14, you were usually dead.
Earl Burke was now a member of the 854th Chemical Warfare Company, part of the 384th Bomb Group in the U.S. Army's 8th Air Force. On September 16, 1943, he clambered into the ball turret for the first time. Their target was the German submarine facilities at Nantes on the French coast.
The ball turret is underneath the aircraft. You put your knees up against your ears, almost like a fetal position. Because you're up in there jammed in that little thing, and you got these horrendous guns in front of you, 2 of them. It didn't pass my mind as I was getting into trouble. Just worse. We're flying about 28,000 feet. And the first time I tried my turret to see whether I could fire, possibly do a reasonable job of tracking the fighter plane, I didn't know my right foot from my left foot. I thought I wanted the gun to go that way, and I pressed my right foot to go that way. And I didn't know where it was going. I was so scared. I didn't know what I was doing. And pretty soon, before we got to the bombing area and the fighters started to come out, I learned my right foot from my left foot.
Earl Burke survived his first mission. The raid and others like it reduced French coastal towns to rubble. Not a dog or a cat survived in them, the German officer said. But the concrete submarine pens that had been the Americans' target remained intact.
Well, the accuracy of our bombing left much to be desired. They said you could drop a bomb into a pickle barrel.
I've heard that.
We couldn't drop a bomb in France that hit any target in the beginning. We just couldn't hit them.
In August, 376 B-17s had conducted a massive raid on Schweinfurt and Regensburg, Germany, hoping to smash the heavily defended factories that supplied ball bearings to the Nazi war machine. It had been a disaster.
Whoa.
60 flying fortresses failed to return. 600 crewmen were lost. The battered factories were again back working round the clock. And so the Allied command ordered a second strike on Schweinfurt for October 14th.
We were briefed that we were going to Schweinfurt, and you could have heard all the people groan and moan, swear. Nobody wanted to go back to Schweinfurt.
Each squadron was ready before dawn.
You were getting ready to go.
Nobody wants to go to
Those
Schweinfurt.
are the times you were more nervous and scared to get into that airplane.
Don't be nervous.
You did not want to get into that airplane,
Oh, come on, get in.
but you did anyway.
That's right, because you were
You got in the airplane because your friends were getting in the aircraft.
you did things against your will.
You didn't want to let your friends down, even though you didn't want to go.
283 B-17s took off into the fog and headed for Schweinfurt. Fighter escorts shielded them across Belgium, then turned back before their fuel ran out. Within minutes, hundreds of German fighters rose up to meet them.
They came in 10 abreast. You see these little things wink. And as they wink, you know what's coming. You're talking about a quarter pound of lead. Each time you saw those winks. Then they would stay off at say 1,000 yards and they lob rockets at you. You couldn't reach them because you couldn't cover them. You couldn't touch them. That's why we needed to fight our escorts. We were city guys. The bogies were coming in. We heard 9 voices, almost at once, talking to each other. Holy shit, look at that son of a bitch! And that's what we were hearing over my microphone, because I couldn't hear the battle sounds at all. That's that shooting at me. No way that guy's gonna shoot me. And you're up there, you're pressing the little red button here, and hope that he flies into it. And I was up there flying 2 50 caliber machine guns, shooting rounds of shells about half an inch in diameter. Lots of lead in the air.
As Bert's battered formation approached its target, the German fighters withdrew, and American crews braced for yet another terror. Anti-aircraft fire, exploding shells that filled the air with thousands of metal shards. The Germans called it flak. Many more planes were hit, and never reached their target.
And over Schweifert, bang,
Bang.
plexiglass on my right hand side exploded. My left hand side exploded, and a 20 millimeter shell had come up through my turret, hitting me in the left arm, not breaking the arm but smashing the bone, tearing my jacket off, and went up into the waist window on the left hand side, hit the stanchion of the 50 caliber gun and blew up. Killed the waist gunner. And here I went down in this ball turret, trying to figure out what I was supposed to do. And I have to say this, my training as an Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts of America saved my arm that day. Because I put a tourniquet around it, knew how to do that. I was out with full of blood. And there was pretty hunky-dory there. And continued on flying in the ball turret. So it's about 35, 40 degrees below zero. And when blood flows out, it freezes, it drops down and rolls around on the bottom. So the idea is to make sure that near at altitude you pick your blood up and put out. Because you didn't, you'd have to mop it up when you got down. But I fought that way for 4.5 hours.
With blood flowing.
And me, that's oh my goodness. My parents. My parents had been another telegram. Telling me that I was wounded or dead. At that point I didn't know which. That was the first time I ever thought what my being in the service did to my parents. And I had second thoughts then.